Good morning, sports fans from all around the globe. I am your host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and this is your breakfast bankroll for Wednesday, April 20th, 2022. It's Hap Day. Hope everyone's having a great morning, at least better than me. Nothing better than no hot water to start the day or the early morning, as we should say. Some housekeeping. ECSI VIPs 2-1 last night, plus 1.3 units. We went back to the frozen pond and we came up aces. Rangers minus a goal and a half, win 3-0 on the puck line, plus 115. We come back with the Preds again, who got us on Sunday against Calgary, plus 115, 2-0 lead, blow it, 2-2, win 3-2 in a shootout. And in bases, got cute. I'm going to call myself out on this. I went and played the tape back, and I asked Scotty on the tape his thoughts on Baltimore and the back end. And he goes, well, they suck in all the ends. anyways, we played them full game, plus the 127. And they were winning. They scored one in the first and had second and third with one out. Had a chance to really open it up early. And needless to say, that's the only run they scored. And they lose 2-1. So instead of a 3-0 sweep, coming off a reverse sweep, we go 2-1, blessed. Left a few on the table. I talked about Atlanta and Freed there. And I just want to get a little something off my chest here, guys, and then I'm going to bring in our co-host. And also, behind the plexiglass, I'd like to say, Kiefer Magic. Glad to have Kiefer here with us this morning. And we got some exciting stuff this afternoon, myself and Kiefer, which you'll see later on the net. But anyways, listen, guys, I talk about water cooler games. I talk about social media. I talk about ESPN, Fox, the Crawlers. I talk about Mike Francesa. If you didn't invite me to the wedding, don't expect me to go to the funeral. And myself and Scott and everyone else in these lanes try to give you what our eyes are seeing, how we come across, and why we do what we do. And that's why myself and Scott have started a Discord channel, trying to get more people into this community with the same goal. I call it win, grin, and profit. And that's what we do. Myself and Scott are so unique because I do it one way. I read the market and I'll put my eyes and my experience up with anyone in the world. I'm not saying I'm the best and I'm not perfect, but I've been doing this long enough that I know when something smells. Okay. I know when Vegas is trying to throw you the old okie dokie, or what I like to say, the banana in the tailpipe. Okay. Now, with that said, you can follow whoever the hell you want. You can gather up as much information as you want and run with it. If you played just favorites in hockey over the weekend, you went 22-0. God bless you. The NBA favorites have been rolling in like a freight train. We haven't touched one of them. You don't need me for that, because 9 out of 10 people that are playing or using the service are going to play their own games anyways. So we're all grown-ups. We're all adults here, men and women. Okay? So please pick our brains. Use us the way we want to be used. Ask the questions. But when we give you the answers, don't get uptight. We're all here for one reason and one reason only: to cash a ticket or two, to have some fun, to build the bankroll, to earn some trust. It isn't free. It's earned. And it's a two-way street. So without further ado, let's bring him in from the Palm Tree State himself, the one, the only, Mr. Scott E. Webb. Morning, Scott.
Sounds like you had a cold shower this morning.
Oh, Lord have mercy. I'm telling you, nothing worse than you're in front of the sink, all lathered up because you got to shave and the water's cold. And I knew what happened. So I had to go back down, reset the water heater and everything. It takes 20, 25 minutes. I didn't have time. I don't have time for that shit. So I just jumped in, I Ramboed it, and yeah, I did have 2 cups of coffee waiting for me. But once in a while, it's okay. But this is getting a little monotonous, and I already called my guy, and I kind of read him the riot act, which means he'll probably come by next Monday or something.
Well, it's Wednesday, so we get that passed, and then that's part of the first part of the week, and then all of a sudden you got a second part of the week, and shit, everything's much better.
Well, I'm going to give you the stage here early. I got to go run and grab something. So I want you to go. I had a little rant today and it was nothing major or nothing. I'm trying to get everyone obviously on the same page. So for the next couple minutes, give everyone last night's review. Again, what are we? We're not even up to 2 weeks yet. Oh, we're at the 2 week mark.
Well, they've played about 11 games so far, I think, most of them.
Yeah, exactly. And I think before last night, of course, the Dodgers already ordered the duck boats and they already ordered the parade route and everything. And then in the American League, just like I said yesterday, and when our buddy Dave Sharapan says nobody knows shit, that's me when it comes to totals. I gave everyone the wind blowing out dead center at Fenway, and there we go, a classic 2-1 with the two better offenses with Toronto and the Sox. But take it away for a few minutes. Tell everyone where your eyes are last night, whatever, and I'll be right back.
It's no problem. So a couple of things here. Last night I was on. I played Philadelphia last night, and amazingly, if I would have played them in the first half, they would have lost, and I played them in the full game and they lost. So it wouldn't matter. They lost both ways. But they were in the lead in the game. So, that just happens in baseball. They took the lead, then they got behind, and then battled back. Sixth inning, took the lead, gave it up. I think it was the seventh or the eighth inning, and the bullpen cost us in that game. But still positive for the year, not by much, but still positive for the year. I think it's 19-16, and plus 1.5 units at this point. But some interesting things happened in the Discord channel, and there was a great question that came up, and the question basically was, "Hey, Scott, Jeff, why are you guys not playing on teams or playing against teams such as Cincinnati, Arizona, Philadelphia, and those kinds of teams? Their record so far is 8-32, which is a great question." And to a certain degree, it's not a true statement, in a sense that there was 4 or 5 straight days I was against Arizona, riding a poor offense and trying to figure out how to play those games every single day. So the answer to the question is simple. Sure, you can go and play against those teams and they're 8-32. The problem is that they're not 8-32 minus 110 or plus 100. They are 8-32, and you lose a lot. Or in the cases of those teams, you win a lot when they win. So you're playing against them at minus 200 usually, and if you're at minus 200 against teams like that, that means you're laying $200 to win $100. Math on that's not real good. It doesn't take too much to figure out that if you lose enough of those games, you're going to lose money. So the problem isn't so much that you want to figure out who the bad teams are, because that's not how you're going to make money betting in baseball. How you're going to make money betting on baseball is finding the middle teams. And and what I mean by middle teams are teams like the Chicago Cubs so far this year. And the reason I say the Chicago Cubs is because, they're not a great team. They're not going to make the playoffs. They're not going to do anything amazing But the Chicago Cubs are 6-5. But in those 6-5, if you bet on them every time, you're up 2.1 units. So you're up $210. And at the same time, if you are betting on the Atlanta Braves, who at this point are 6-7, so they lost a couple of their games, but they're 6-7, they're minus 4.75 units. They're down $475 by betting on that team. So the other one is things like this. You can be betting the Dodgers, one of the best teams in baseball, probably the best team in baseball. They are 8-3, and they are only plus 2.65 units. So you bet on them, you've won all those games, and you're only up $260. Or maybe you could have been betting on the Colorado Rockies, who are also 8-3, and they are up 6.65 units. So that's $665. So the answer to the question is you don't just go find the worst teams in baseball and bet against them every day, because if you do that, you're going to lose money. You will over the long run, or if you do it and you could break even. So it's not a good scenario to run through every day. What you're trying to do is find the teams like the Cubs and the Rockies and those kinds of teams that are going to pay you and reward you when nobody's looking. Nobody's watching the Rockies and nobody's watching the Cubs. Nobody's watching these teams, that are out here doing this stuff in a sense of, are they really winning? Are they really doing it's like the Oakland A's? The Oakland A's are 7-5, 2 games over 500, but they're plus 615 in units. So they could actually lose the next 6 straight games theoretically and still be winning money for you. So the goal isn't to go find the weakest team. The goal is to find the middle teams that get hot. And when the middle teams get hot, they're going to give you all kinds of rewards and monies. And you should track this on a 10 to 15 game basis, not on the full season. Because if you're betting in, I don't know, July, who cares what they did in April? Nobody cares. And they don't care. They didn't even have the same players probably. So the truth matters is baseball is a sport where the money line is the equalizer. If you're playing these games on the spread, that's a different formula to follow. But most of us are all playing it on the money line. So the answer to that question, and I thought it was a decent question. I'm not, and I thought it was deserved a good answer. And the answer is that if anything, if we're not giving out suggestions and we're not giving out advice to play these middle teams, that's where you can come and say, hey, Scott, Jeff, what are you guys doing? We should be playing the Rockies. We should be playing the Cubs. We should be playing some of these teams, because those are the teams where they're showing the money. Now, next week, they might not be showing the money, and this is early in the season. And just because you're ahead 2 units today doesn't mean you're going to be ahead 2 units 3 days from now. So all of that stuff turns on a dime. And as we look at things, we have to try to keep up with that market. And I think that's where you're going to get some of the advice that you hear from me and some of the advice you hear from Jeff, and why the selections and choices that we make are the ones we do pick. So anyway, there's the answer to the question.
And I'll second to that. And listen, I always say this. There's no such thing as a dumb question. The only dumb question is the one that you didn't ask. Okay. So if you have a question, please ask the question. And we try to give you the best answer that I have on the reason why. I had a handful of games on the desk. I talked about Monday, the 0-3, the reverse sweep, and I says usually if you come back with those 3, you're going to go 2-1, 3-0, and it would have been 2-1. And the fact of the matter is, I talked about Fried. I loved the spot he was in, and again, I would have been a hero if we played Atlanta first 5 yesterday. He had a no hitter going through the first 4.
It was a perfect game.
Yeah. So there were a lot of opportunities, and you are 1,000%. And I say this, if I don't say it every day, I say it every other day. Value is only value when you cash your ticket. Period. End of discussion. Now, there's not a million, there's a lot of people out there that are the so called experts or the professionals that get the inside overnight numbers. And those guys are this, and Scott will laugh when I say this, those are the EV and the CLVs and all those other alphabet soup guys that will get a number where we can't get the number, and then by the time it's released, they'll be on the other side and looking for the middles. Okay, and they'll be the ones sitting with Notre Dame -4, and the public gets it at 6.5, and it closes at 8, and it lands on 3, and no one wins. So again, thank you for the questions. No hard feelings, no nothing. I love questions. Scott loves questions. This is why we're here, to answer the questions. We're here to educate with a little entertainment. With that said, Scott, we have a pretty decent board. We have some afternoon baseball. We have 3 games in NBA playoffs as well. Philly Toronto will be game 3. Toronto on life support. Chicago and the Bucks will be game 2, and of course the Celtics and Brooklyn tonight as well, game 2. And shout out to my man, Mr. Dave Olson. If you haven't seen it, go over to Facebook. I'll reveal it on Twitter later today. He did a nice little cartoon with me talking with Kyrie, and he was spot on with that one as well. His work is off the charts. If you're not following this guy, Dave Olson, please do. We'll go back up here, Scotty. We're going to go back to Don Best. And like I said, it's a decent slate. There's some real good matchups today. Finally, weather permitting, the White Sox and Indians will get their games in. They've had a few days off due to rain there. But take it away.
So I've got 4 plays today, which is I wouldn't say it's a ton, but it's more than I played yesterday. I only played 1. So sometimes you find value and sometimes you don't. And I will say this. I really wish I could find some way to get into these games with these Milwaukee Brewers against Pittsburgh. But it's just not worth the numbers of getting in these games. But I'm going to skip that one. I'm going to skip the Cleveland first game, the Cleveland with the White Sox. That's Bieber and Keuchel. Now, the reason I'm skipping this game is not because I don't think Keuchel or Bieber can do well. If I was going to want to play that game, I might want to play on the Guardian side. And I think you're paying too much. So my number is like 110 on that game, and I think the number is like 136, something like that. So I think Bieber is we might have even missed our spots with him, meaning that he's back from surgery and injury and all that, and his value is only going to go up and up and up in these games because we're about to see the Bieber again. That's, he is a Cy Young candidate Bieber. So I do like the next 2 games though. They're 3:00 starts. Atlanta plays against the Dodgers, and I really like Gonsolin for the Dodgers. I think he's a good pitcher, but I don't think he's a strikeout dominant pitcher. So that means balls are going to be put in play, and when balls are put in play, there's an edge there. So I like Atlanta's ability here to put balls in play. They got lots of hits last night, and they faced a tough pitcher in Bueller. So they're going to throw Morton today. Morton's getting a little older, but Morton's a better pitcher than Gonsolin. So you're getting a better pitcher against probably a better offense. I mean, the Dodgers offense is amazing. But at the same time, the value in this play is that I think this should be at worst a pick 'em. And I think the Dodgers are favored like -130 or something. So I played Morton at +115 today. And I like the value we're getting there. And then the second game is this Philadelphia game against Colorado, and I got burned on a bullpen last night in Philadelphia. Um, but today, I think you got a good pitching matchup for Colorado. Marquez is a really good pitcher. So I like Marquez here in this game, and you can get him as an underdog. So go ahead and give me the better offense that's going currently, and give me the better pitcher. And take him as a dog. I'll take it every day. So I'm going to take Marquez in Colorado. I think the number is like plus 105 in that one. So those are the 2 day games that I played, and then I saw the numbers are out for the second game, the White Sox and the Guardians game. And I think McKenzie is the pitcher for the Guardians. And if you hear me ever refer to him, I always forget his name because I call him his nickname. His nickname is Sticks. I don't know if you've ever seen him before, but he's a real skinny guy with long legs. So they call him Sticks. That's his nickname. And he's a good pitcher, but he is just these teams are in the same division, so they play each other a lot. And he's pitched against the White Sox, and he can't do it against the White Sox. The White Sox beat the crap out of him every time he pitches. So I'm all in on the White Sox in the second game. I think the White Sox have a better offense than the Guardians do, and the Guardians are back. Well, they haven't played for a little while, but they're not the team that ran right out and scored all those runs right away. So I think you're going to find that Lambert is he's not a great pitcher, but he's a pitcher that the Guardians haven't seen. So even guys, and they got a great bullpen. So what I'm looking at is, okay, he gets through the first 4 or 5 innings here. Then maybe they take him out, and then the bullpen comes in, and I'm expecting the White Sox to be ahead. And in theory, right, you can't sweep doubleheaders, right? Isn't that what we said yesterday? Everybody says you can't sweep doubleheaders. And how many doubleheaders got swept yesterday? Every one of them. So it's one of those spots here where I do think Bieber wins that first game. And that does set up the White Sox maybe to have a pretty good advantage here in the second game. So I like the White Sox as an underdog in that one. And then the last game, I really like to bet against Lyles. And he's pitching tonight for Baltimore against Oakland. I can take Oakland as a small favorite today. And the Baltimore is just so bad. This is a team that we did talk about here just a minute ago. But you don't have to play minus 200 against them. So you're only minus 120. And Jeffries, my number on that game, I think my number is 137. So that's almost 20 basis points of advantage. That's like 5% edge. So I like the idea that Oakland can beat Baltimore one more time. And I listened to Mark Kotze. He's the new manager of Oakland. He was on the radio yesterday, and I was listening to him talking. These guys are just really good persons, and the things he was talking about, and they made me a little bit of a believer in the young team that they have and the quality of players they have. Because truth is, I don't know. I mean, I know a lot about them, but I don't know certain things that I was kind of introduced to yesterday. And this is a team that plays real good defense, and they have gritty at bats every single at bat. So I like to support and back a team like that, and they're going to be playing one of the worst teams in baseball. So those are my 4 picks today, Jeff. I think that I severely passed on the Houston Astros today, and my thought is that that line is way off, with Ohtani being a favorite in Houston minus 130. I think the right side is Odorizzi, and Odorizzi does well against the Angels. And Ohtani's hit or miss against the Astros. He's been good at points, but he's not great. and he's horrible on the road. And that was a great discovery process we got out of the Discord channel, because it just came a question. We answered the question, and holy crap, we just found out that he's just amazingly bad on the road. So I'm just going to move along from that one, and I'm not sure. Has it been announced yet who's pitching against Miami? Alcantara. I have Michaelis as the pitcher, but I don't know if he's pitching.
That's who I have on both Don Best and Wager Talk right in front of me right now.
I was really surprised to see Miami at minus 130 or whatever they are, minus 135 in that game. Not because of anything more than, Sandy Alcantara is a great pitcher, and he's a way more better pitcher than Is that a right way to say that? He is a way better pitcher than Michaelis is, and he can dominate, and he has dominated St. Louis in the past. But I think that if you're going to support them, you better just hope they score somehow. I get it. Miami's offense has been playing a little better here lately, but it's not the guys you need them to be. It's not the Solairs of the world that's hitting the ball. It's that little shortstop guy and those guys. So you got to get the main guys hitting, and then you can support these teams. I think that game in Boston's an interesting matchup because I don't know what Barrios you got anymore. I don't want to tell you he's washed because he can still pitch, but he hasn't looked good, and I don't know. I'm afraid to support him in any way, shape, or form. But again, you got Pivetta out there, so he's going to get hit too. So this game might have 30 runs in that one. And then Stroman, I was looking at trying to support Stroman today, but there's no way I'm going to support him. The Rays have played against him several times, and they've done pretty well against him and most of the time. And then you got Paddock out there who's just struggling, but he's facing a pitcher that gets hit every single time. So there's no way I'm going to go there. And the only other game that caught my interest was Gilbert's pitching in Seattle tonight, and he's a better pitcher than Dunning is, and he has dominated the Texas Rangers over the past. I just thought the four other plays that I'm on are better value and better line numbers than mine being having to pay minus 145.
And I think you hit a few key spots that I have seen. Again, I always try to trust and respect the opening numbers. A few of those definitely caught our eye this morning, from overnight till this morning. And again, all our further information for this evening's card will be on the closing bell at 4:30 when myself, and Scott will come back with the closing.
Sounds like we got an army getting on that show tonight.
Yeah, exactly. But a couple things caught my eye. Again, I was going to ask you this. This Chicago and Cleveland game has been postponed now Monday and Tuesday. Now they're finally coming back. So they've been, especially the White Sox, been sitting in their hotel and doing laps in the pool or something because they haven't played in a few days. So it will be interesting to see, which teams show up. Will it be a little flat or whatever? I mean, the under-over in game one, Keuchel and Bieber opened at 7.5 and is now 8 there. Eflin and Marquez, Phillies in Colorado again. No, I think Marquez slight edge there, but again, nothing that I would want to go diving into. You talked about Morton and Gosselin. Again, I give the edge to Morton. But again, just the thought process is I was on Atlanta Monday. I should have been on them Tuesday, and I missed them. I'm not going to jump back in on Wednesday and get egg on my face there. The Gutierrez and Moore and Gore, again, Mackenzie Gore. I talked yesterday, Scotty. I thought it was a layup for San Diego, first 5 minus the hook with Musgrove. And the same exact start on Monday happened on Tuesday. Pham, solo shot, 1-0 Reds. Up come the Padres. Runner on Machado, 2-run homer, 2-1. Thanks for playing. There. First game that stuck out again. Alcantara minus 135, now 139. That's a big number. Now, everyone was on Lozado yesterday. They opened up his dog close favorites. Now that number is like to me enticing Cards money. Now, with that said, if I were to play that again, I'm not the 139s, the 140s, you're starting to dance with the devil. So if I try to get creative, I can get plus money. I'm going to move over here for 1 second. Um, bear with me, guys. First half. I can get Miami minus a half at even money right now, plus 100. So I would eye that, but if you're not afraid of the juice, I would eye Alcantara first five over Mikolas. There. Yankees, Detroit. I mean, Erod was horrendous last game. In comes Severino. I'm going to stay away there. Shohei, you were correct, and hats off to John Holmes on our Discord channel, bringing up his splits on the road versus home. But you as well also talk about bounce back spots, and this is a perfect bounce back. I'm not a big Odorizzi guy. I would lean Shohei first five here based upon the opening numbers, hoping for that bounce back there. Um, I think probably the best pitcher to start the year has to be Rodon from San Fran. And here they are limping after getting swept against Bassett, who you and I have futures on. His pitch great. Yet Rodon opens up minus 124 there. It's going to be a great game. I lean the Giants here on a bounce back, not to get swept, but the Mets are playing great ball right now, 9-3. But I like the edge here to Rodon over Bassett here. Again, I like to tiptoe in the first five so I can stay away from the bullpens. Another thing that jumped out to me was Toronto with Berrios minus 122. Both teams' bats were cold. Both teams 6-5. Vegas is making a stance saying Toronto's not going to lose two in a row. I think the season series ended Sox 10-9 last year, so this has been a give and take. You're correct on Berrios. Which Berrios are we going to get? And the same with Pavetta. So I lean Berrios first five against the Red Sox. I do also think there'll be a lot of runs scored today as well. Rasmussen versus Stroman. Tampa is short favorite there. Again, they got us on Monday on the first five, and they came rolling in yesterday. Good pitching matchup, slightly in Rasmussen there. Minnesota, Kansas City, Scott. I talked about Paddock, and I thought Minnesota did him dirty his opening start because he faced the Dodgers. Now he's going to face a Kansas City team that I assume hasn't seen him, or if they have, it's been very little. I lean Paddock first five here against Lynch. And everyone here knows I have some Gilbert futures as well. Dunning got us on Sunday. Not Sunday, he got him earlier this week. We went against him. I like Seattle minus the half run first five against Texas today. Again, these are leans. Our VIP alert has not been sent yet today, and we might have some afternoon action. If we do, I will. Anyone who's new to our VIP group, as soon as I send the alert out, the internet has a mind of its own. We have a service that sends you a text and an email. We hope that you get both, but due to weather, heat, whatever, sometimes you only get one. But I immediately send a tweet on Twitter at EC Sports Invest that says, hey, the alert's been sent. Check your emails, check your texts. If you have a problem, you can DM me immediately. On the Frozen Pond, where we did go 2-0 last night, I want to say Vegas is on life support, but I think they're actually done. But this could be their last hurrah. They're minus 130 or 135 against the Caps. The Caps have done very well in the past in Vegas. So that's about that on the hockey front. Edmonton minus 160 against Dallas. Again, nothing major there. Closing thoughts, Scott.
Two things. Today could be a day that I don't know that I've ever seen before after the day. Major League Baseball batting average currently is 231 in Major League Baseball. If they have a struggle today, and there's some pretty good pitchers thrown today. So if there's a struggle today, it's possible they'll be under 230 tomorrow. That is something I don't know that I've ever seen. And then second thing is everybody, because where I live, I'm right here near Tampa, and we get bombarded for not supporting the Rays and attendance and stuff, and there's other reasons for that. But I will tell you this: did you see what the Oakland A's drew last night? I mean, I retweeted the tweet. I think minor league teams. I think a high school basketball team could outdraw that.
Scotty, we have more at Keep League games in the summer than Oakland had last night.
3,725 people, I think, was the number. 37 something. So, but I do know that there's the that Dodger Stadium was pretty full to watch the Braves and the Dodgers last night. So, people are liking baseball, and I get it. Oakland sold off all their players and did all kinds of stuff. So there's probably some mutiny going on there. But at the same time, 3,700 is not very damn many. So I don't want to hear people telling me that Tampa Day, the sport team, when 3,700 people show up for an Oakland game. Those are my thoughts.
My thoughts are it's a good day for baseball. We have some afternoon action. We have a couple double headers. We have a nice evening slate. And then, of course, you have the NBA playoffs, round 2, Kyrie flipping the bird to the Celtic fans, and Woj dropping bombs about how the fact that the crowd is booing Kyrie because they had in-game player props. And I'm being a little facetious here, but for a state of Massachusetts that, first of all, is not even legalized. Second of all, I said betting on games goes all the way back to the caveman, and the fact is, where there's a will, there's a way. Okay, so booing on players doesn't mean that they just lost their wager, Mr. Woj. So that was not one of your better bombs that you were trying to drop there. So with that said, 1 o'clock, ECSI crosses the border. Our weekly show with Andrew McGinnis of Wager Talk of McGinnis Picks. We'll be talking NHL final weekend playoffs. We'll probably do a little baseball talk as well. At 4:30, myself and Scott will be here for the closing bell. In between time, maybe a little Kiefer's Corner as we discuss some Zurich PGA golf. Behind the scenes for this week, and it's kind of an interesting tournament because it's not individual, it's teams, and there are some teams put together. I mean, the clear favorites is, I think, Hovland and Morikawa. I mean, could you ask for two better iron players in the world to play together than that? But that's for another show. So always, always, always remember this, people. If you are wagering today, this afternoon, tonight, please do it responsibly. If you have a problem, pick up the phone. There's an 800 number available. Ask for help. Why? Myself and Scotty care. We want to see you here today, tomorrow, next week, next month, through 2022 and beyond. From myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Invest. From Scotty Webb at Webby20MLB. From our man from behind the plexiglass, Mr. Kiefer Engels. We wish everyone a blessed day. Have some fun with these games, cash some tickets, and we will see you back for the closing bell at 4:30.